Chapter 64. Houses and rooms are full of perfumes. The shelves are crowded with perfumes. Topper is back in Georgetown, and I'm about to return to Los Angeles. I need to wrap things up with Mr. Woolf. I tell everyone, and it's true. I do need to drive over to thank him for his time and give him a parting gift, a Baroque French clock I picked up at auction. But what I really need is time for myself, for the things that belong to me alone. I feel the pull of the desert, its strange magic. I want to breathe in the hot, dry air and find my way back to the essence of things. The odd thing is, the more lost I feel, the prettier I seem to become. Everyone keeps saying I look radiant. Tilly asks if I'm pregnant. I'm not. I know I'm not, and I don't understand what's happening to me. Some lady Mrs. Montgomery lunches with says I'm coming into my bloom. Mrs. Montgomery smiles at her, then turns to me. Birdie has been in bloom since she was born. She's that sort of girl. I am on display, and it fills me with a kind of unease that's new to me. I used to enjoy being complimented, used to take it as generosity. Now it feels obtuse, almost like a criticism, as if it's one of only two things about me that matters to them, the other being what Mrs. Montgomery flew to England to find out for herself. I make my excuses, walk to the park, and try to make sense of myself. I do what I always do, put one foot in front of the other. Cornelia and I have arranged to meet at Idlewild. She's flying to the Caribbean to shoot a photo montage for Life magazine with Slim Aarons, and our flights leave nearly at the same time. It seems like the right moment to see each other. I've missed her and the way she moves through the world. She's been working nonstop since graduation. Out of all of us, she's the only one of the three of us to already have a career. I'm proud of her. And part of me wonders why it was always Tilly who drew the attention. I'm halfway through this thought when I hear her voice, familiar and clear. Birdie? I turn. She's waving across the concourse. I walk to meet her. Cornelia, darling, I say, hugging her. Am I glad to see you? It's good to see you, too. She studies me for a moment. You look, a tilt of her head, arable. What's happened? Do the first? Yes, she says. You look drawn. And tired, and not at all happy. She slips her arm through mine and guides us toward the lounge. Inside, she finds 2 seats by the window. I sit, trying not to meet her eyes. A steward walks past with a tray of highballs, and I follow him with my gaze, grateful for any distraction. Cornelia notices. Birdie, she says quietly, are you all right? I stare down at my hands. I'm just a little tired. That's not what I asked. I swallow, wishing for the ease of my usual lines, the cordial phrases that smooth everything over. Nothing comes to mind. You look stretched too thinly, she says. I try to joke. It's just the wedding. Mrs. Montgomery being Mrs. Montgomery. Cornelia gives me a sympathetic smile. You're disappearing behind all of this. I know she's right, but something inside me resists. I should be grateful. I should be composed. Topper is perfect. I'm the luckiest girl alive. I'm everything everyone tells me is to be revered, wealthy, pretty, and now securely placed inside the myth of America. It feels as if I'm living on Mount Olympus, perched at the top of the empire, yet somehow not belonging to any of it. I think of when I danced down the corridors of Hume's High, dreaming of this America. And now that I'm no longer a girl, but an adult, it isn't what I imagined. The American dream doesn't offer happiness so much as momentum, a big White House and cars, to keep rushing for the endless promise of what is ahead. It keeps you chasing what can never be reached unless you stop, truly stop, and step off the road. I look at Cornelia, her loose white shirt, black capri pants, flat shoes, her hair in a ponytail. She's modern. And suddenly I feel old-fashioned, my cinched skirt, my Grace Kelly bob. I used to be modern too, but something has shifted in the last few months, and it's only now that I'm admitting it to myself. How do you do it? I ask. She shrugs. Don't turn this on me. We can talk about my life another time. Then gently, right now, we need to look at you. I glance out at the runway, where planes lift off into the winter light. Something inside me cracks. What do you mean? I manage. Can we talk about Topper? She asks. I don't want to overstep, but I've known you and him together and separately since we were children. My stomach tightens. Another plane rises. There's nothing to talk about, I say lightly. Cornelia gives a small, knowing laugh. Birdie, you can drop the act with me. I'm marrying him, I say. That should tell you everything. It tells me you're doing what's expected, she says. I love Topper. He's the best man I've ever met. And I mean it. Topper is magnificent, honorable, good, beautiful, and safe, and I have never gotten along with anyone in quite the same way as I do with him. He makes all of it easy. It's important to me that Cornelia knows it. He is good, Cornelia agrees. But he sees you in a very particular way. What does that mean? It means, she says, he loves the Birdie who fits neatly into his life, the independent girl who never needs anything from him, the girl who already has money, already has a name, already has a place, the girl who makes him look modern for letting her be free. I stare at her. I can't see what's wrong with any of that. He admires you, she continues, because you cost him nothing, because you never force him to confront anything, because you make him feel generous. A knot forms in my chest. That's not fair, I tell her. It's not unfair, she says softly. She hesitates, then adds, he doesn't think he's controlling you, because his way of controlling you is to make you grateful he isn't. He gives you freedom knowing you'll reward him with loyalty. That's how he gets his way, by being the reasonable one, the steady one. The truth of it dizzies me. She doesn't say it, but it's implied that I'm the unsteady one, the unreasonable one. And I realize suddenly that I've only become those things because Topper and everyone in his world keep trying to fit me into their version of who I should be. If I were still just myself, my real self, no one would be able to call me any of those things. And I wouldn't be pushed to feel guilty about any of it, or who I am. But this is the world I'm standing in, and I don't control its rules. Maybe Topper is simply as good a man as anyone can be here? I've never questioned him before. Why start now? Surely this is nothing more than pre-wedding jitters, stirred up by the perennial singleton in our circle. I feel bad for thinking of Cornelia this way, but I'm also feeling belittled and infantilized by her, and my defenses are up. It's like she's assuming I have no agency of my own. He does love you, Cornelia finishes, but he loves the version he can manage. I inhale sharply but stay still. That's not what being seen looks like, she adds. Real seeing asks something of you. Topper doesn't ask. He expects. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel, I admit. Aren't we all flawed in some ways? I think. Isn't she turning something simple into something sinister when all Topper has ever had are good intentions? Aren't we all selfish at times with blind spots we can't see until someone else points them out? We sit in silence for a moment, the lounge humming around us. There's something else, she says. About Tilly. My head lifts. Tilly? She's not as charmed as she looks. Tilly's always been Tilly. And that's the problem, Cornelia says. Everyone buys the performance. She looks self-contained, self-sufficient, like she doesn't need anything from anyone. I open my mouth, but she lifts a hand. I'm not telling you her secrets. They're not mine to share. But she's carrying something heavy, and it's been eating at her for years. A small coldness threads through me, but she's always so perfect, Cornelia offers. Effortless, admired. Yes, I say. She's hurting, she says simply, and there's shame in it, the kind that makes you hide. I swallow. I always thought she had everything. That's because you saw the surface, just like everyone else only sees the surface of you. I look down at my hands. I hear her, where she's right and where she's wrong. Birdie, she says softly, if you're not careful, you'll end up like her. I look up. What do you mean? Lovely to look at, she says, and utterly alone inside. The words hit a nerve. Cornelia doesn't look away. You keep doing the right things for the wrong reasons. One day you'll wake up and not recognize your own life. I laugh nervously. You make it sound like I'm making terrible mistakes. Not terrible, she says. Just unexamined. She leans in. You've spent years being what everyone else needed. But when did you last ask yourself what you need? I know what she's pointing to. She doesn't have to say it. Respectability isn't love, she murmurs. And prettiness isn't happiness. She reaches for my hand. You're on the edge of something honest. Don't run. Another plane rises into the pale sky. That's my boarding call, she says, standing. I smile back at her. I love Topper, I say. The rest, we can work out together. She hesitates. And whatever this is between you and him, no name, you need to face it. It's already shaping your life. I look away. You're not doing anything wrong, she says. You're just human, but you can't keep living in halves. She squeezes my shoulder, kisses my cheek, and then she's gone. Ponytail swinging, not looking back. The winter light shifts across the lounge carpet. Something inside me feels bruised, but clearer. A plane roars overhead. I stand, gather my things, and walk towards my gate. I don't know if I'm running from something or towards it. My flight is called. Passengers move around me with purpose. I turn towards the nearest telephone booth, step inside, close the glass door, and lift the receiver. Operator, a clipped voice answers. Long distance, I say. Los Angeles, Beverly Hills Hotel, person to person. Chapter 65. Come fly with me. By the time they put me through to the boys' suite at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I've already crossed the country and felt Cornelia's words rearranging themselves inside me. The desert is only a few hours away. I want one last stretch of sky with him before everything changes. Just a few days, bathed in sunshine and hallelujahs. Do you have the weekend off? I ask when he comes on the line. Maybe, he says, and I can hear the smile in his voice. Depends what you've got in mind. He chuckles. I ask if he wants to come to the desert for a couple of days. Of course I do, he says, and this time there's real happiness in his voice. I think it'll be just the tonic for us. One last hurrah, I add lightly. He laughs. I'll ignore that last part, but sure, baby girl. Will you pick me up at the hotel? I'll be there in an hour. I call Tilly before I leave and tell her about my conversation with Cornelia. She says Connie has a tendency to insert herself into other people's business, and that because she lacks life experience and nuance herself, she projects fantasy onto others. Why haven't you noticed this before? I am confused and promise to go through my memorial archive of interactions and investigate for myself. Don't be naive, Tilly says. I have no idea what she is talking about, she continues. I am in no way hurting, nor do I carry anything painful around with me that you don't already know about. She sounds irritated. And let me tell you one thing. You cannot find a man more appropriate for you than Topper. He is the real deal. She sighs before telling me she has to go. There's this thing, and then that other thing that needs taking care of. Love you, she coos before hanging up. Ditto and toodles, I reply. The complexities of friendships and the people in them, I think to myself, and the many sides of the truth before rushing out again. He's waiting out front when I pull up, sunglasses on, overnight bag at his feet. The sight of him undoes something in me I didn't know I'd been holding. He leaps into the car, tossing his bag onto the back seat. Baby, 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 he sings, smiling at me. You're looking mighty fine, I say, leaning over to kiss him hello. I like the hair, I add, touching his freshly cut, freshly dyed hair. The color's called chocolate Labrador or something, he laughs. Gorgeous. I smile, trying to memorize him. Buckle up, Buttercup, I say, heading east on Wilshire Boulevard. You ready for some desert sun? I hand him a cold bottle of Coke from the cooler in the back seat. Here you go. How's my little movie star doing? Good. I met Marlon Brando the other day. Can you believe it? That's so cool, I reply, as I gaze over at him before refocusing my eyes on the road. For a while we just drive and talk about nothing, studio gossip, small adventures, silly things. It feels like the old days, only bigger now, lit from behind by everything we're not saying. You know, besides Casablanca, our director also made a picture called Young Man with a Horn. Makes me laugh. I raise an eyebrow. That's why I said yes to the role, he smirks. Thought, hey, that's me. Want to see for yourself? We could pull over and I could... Keep your eyes on the road, King Creole. I laugh, referencing the film he's in the middle of. He guffaws, but the sound trails off. The energy shifts almost imperceptibly. They told me where I'm going, he says at last, staring straight ahead. My hands tighten on the wheel. Where? Germany. After basic training, somewhere near the border. Gotta watch the Russians, they say. What? I stare at him. Why? I thought you'd be stationed somewhere here. He lifts one shoulder. Orders are orders. This is beyond horrible, I say. I stop. I thought I'd at least have you on the same continent. He doesn't want to sit in it. He breaks into song, drumming his restless leg against the dashboard. I pull off the road and turn to him. Do you want to drive? He looks over, eyes lighting up a little. Sure. Scoot over. We arrive at my house in the movie colony just as the early afternoon sun is gilding everything. The whole place glows, the pool, the palms, the mountains behind the houses. The boy finds a parcel wrapped in paper in the hall, Mr. Sinatra's new album, sent to the house for me. He smiles, opens it, and puts it on, and Let's Get Away From It All reverberates through the house. Ah, I stretch my arms, sliding open the glass doors to the pool. He's framed in the doorway, grinning, taking it all in. A quick dip before drinks? I ask, slipping off my sunglasses. You had me a quickie. He grins. I roll my head back and sigh. You're incorrigible. We swim and float. For a moment, it's just bodies in water, no history, no future, only sun and laughter and the sound of him calling me Buzzy across the pool. I store it all away. It's too heartbreaking to stop and feel. Later, over drinks at the little bar in the sitting room. Next time you see me, I'll be a married woman, I say lightly, not sure how to broach the subject we've danced around since last year. He flinches. You're still going through with it? You told me I should get married. I sigh, sliding onto a stool. I know you told me to marry Topper, I remind him, attempting a smile. I know, he says again, jaw clenched. I'm sorry, baby. Another life, another time. We sit in silence, sipping cocktails. The air is soft and heavy between us. I know it's what you have to do, he says at last. I know I'm not living up to us. It's okay, I say, getting fresh ice I don't need. There's a whole lot of circumstance. He walks over to the turntable, flips through the records. It's good to be here, he says as Return to Me floats through the air. To be with you. I don't know how I'll survive without us. He looks me in the eye, and I feel it again, the heartbreak resurfacing. I push it down. Dino Martini. I just say instead. Good man. He sits back down. Can I have another drink? Absolutely. I wink. What'll it be this time? Bourbon on the rocks, he says. He never really drinks, so he just throws out orders he's heard other people make. It makes me chuckle. I know he won't enjoy it. I make him an old-fashioned instead. Let's go sit by the pool, I say. Catch the breeze. On the way out, I ask him to change the music. He obliges, and Nat King Cole's Looking Back drifts out into the night, the title almost too on the nose. Are you trying to tell me something? I ask with a melancholy smile, nodding toward the stereo system inside. Bingo, he says, looking serious, swirling the ice in his glass. You're sharper than you look. And I remember a conversation we had in a time before this world, back at Hume's in the hallway in 1948, and I am overcome by the magnitude of this moment and all the moments that came before. Where we started, and now where we are ending. It can't be the end. I won't have it be the end. I try to push it down, remove myself from the grief, but it's impossible, so instead I don't say anything. I just sit there swallowing it as it keeps pushing from inside, wanting to surface, to break out, trying to avoid an oncoming panic attack brewing inside me. We sit side by side, glasses in hand, the desert cooling around us. How do you keep it so light? He snaps suddenly. I blink. What do you mean? Are you really superficial? He asks, staring out at the pool. Or do you just not care? I set down my drink, watch the condensation ring it leaves. For all I know, life isn't very long, I say quietly. I don't tell him that inside I'm fighting a battle I have no strategy for. How banal, he mutters, though there's no real bite in it. No, I say. Can't you see my heart is broken? He retorts. Don't you think mine is? I raise my voice, just a little. I'm a woman. There are expectations. You told me that yourself. I start to cry, but quietly he doesn't notice at first. He looks down, the fight draining out of him. But you could have chosen me. Really? I ask. Be honest now. Was that ever really an option? He sighs. No, not really. Not right now. He turns away. I take his hand. Don't you want me to have a life? I ask. You have Anita. He slaps my hand away, tries to stand, then sits again, as if his body can't quite decide what to do. He pulls me closer instead, lifts me onto his lap. It's too much for my brain to deal with, he says. I stroke his hair. I know. Me too. For a moment, we just breathe, his chin resting against my shoulder. I don't know what happens to us now, I whisper. Do we stay friends, lovers? Do we separate? He looks lost, younger than I've seen him in years. I honestly don't know what we're supposed to do. I think we both know what the right thing is, he says softly. But I don't think that's an option. Do you? I shake my head. No. He looks at me, really looks, and something in the room shifts, a kind of resignation or recognition, or both. Come on, he says at last, trying to seem happy and careless, but it doesn't quite land. Let's go inside. Let's have some fun. But we don't make it inside with any sense of lightness. We walk quietly, wordlessly, to the bedroom. It happens suddenly and inevitably. It feels less a choice than a current we're caught in. At first we laugh, a nervous laughter at the awkwardness of it, and also how familiar we still are beneath everything that's changed. Then we find the old rhythm and fall back into who we are together. It's heated and intense, like a dance for life and death, like our whole history is being choreographed into this intimate moment between us. Afterwards, we lie there in the dusk of the desert, still and quiet for the longest time. His hand rests on my hip, mine on his chest, as if letting go would break something fragile between us. He turns his head toward me, offers a crooked grin, foolish and adolescent. Let's get drunk, he says. Really, really drunk. It's so unlike him, but the urge hits me too, the desire to blur the edges, to drown the ache, to make this last little chapter less fraught with heartbreak. He puts on Don Gibson's I Can't Stop Loving You. After drink number 3, I shout enough, and demand a change in tunes. I feel like listening to rhythm and blues, like in the old days, I say. He obliges, cheeks flushed, eyes shining. This is why I never drink, he says as darkness falls, and we talk through tears and cigarette smoke, slurring and gesturing wildly. I never usually smoke, but today calls for anything and everything to ease the pain of letting go. Me too, I say. I always get sentimental, he admits, and then suddenly he cries harder, properly now, hands over his face like a child. I drop a cigarette on the carpet. Too late to stop it. A small burn appears. Whoops, I say, placing it in the ashtray. I don't even like smoking, I mumble, and slide off the stool in a graceless heap. I think we'd better go to bed, he says, offering me a hand. I can't quite stand up. Neither of us can, not really. He gives up trying to help me to my feet, and instead carries me down the hall. Here, he slurs, tossing me onto the bed as gently as he can manage. Good night, he says softly this time, and promptly falls on top of me, asleep,